Satan's Little Season, Part 2. All right, so where are we today? Really, everything is backwards. Now we can better understand Isaiah 29:16. Let's read that. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Here's where I can see everything is upside down. I think I may have said this in another video. It's worth repeating. Doctors destroy our health. Lawyers destroy our justice system. Universities and schools destroy knowledge and forget about wisdom. Governments, as you can see, we've all lived through it, destroyed our freedom and our rights in our country. The mainstream media, you guys know this, it's not a laughing matter. They destroy real investigation, real journalism, real information. It's bread and circus. But the most damaging is religion. Religion destroys your spirit, your consciousness. Religion is bondage, pure and simple. I think of this time that we're in is a totalitarian indoctrination of the Laodicean. Right? In the Bible, you know, Revelation 3, Jesus said the end days would be nothing but Laodicean. I just replaced Dicean with Piscean because Laodicea doesn't exist today. All right? But you can understand, you can wrap your mind around the Laodicean concept, consciousness. That's what everybody's in. What I just read about the Pisces age, that's the state of our consciousness. We have to, get back to our light body. We have to allow our consciousness to expand. We have to do what Christ did. He said, you're going to do more than me. Why hasn't anybody achieved that? Because they've been following religion. The lies of religion, the lies of revelation, that's all still coming. That keeps you in fear and bondage. So the Laodicean, actually, instead of Laodicean, just call it ego, right? Ego, edging God out. Rather than the intellect for this age of consciousness, we are still in the base men position. Let's read Job 30, verse 8. They were children of fools, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. We are the subjects that is talked about in Proverbs 30. You should pause now and read Proverbs 30. I can only read 2 and 3, verses 2 and 3. Proverbs 30, 2 to 3. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of a man. I neither learn wisdom nor have the knowledge of the holy. You just have what the church indoctrination is. It's our indoctrination of a lot of words, right? People want to prove their, knowledge with just a ton of words. That's why I apologize for going over 30 minutes, because I realize I'm doing the same thing. I gotta learn how to just bullet point it. Let's find the wisdom. Let's kind of meditate, hang out, reflect on just pure wisdom. Right? That Charlie Brown I'm gonna show you something. Charlie Brown exposed this to us of people just with a bunch of words in our school system. Let me see. Here we go. There we go. Watch this. Remember Charlie Brown? And the want. Okay, let me hit play.
Well, there it is, Sally. See? Nothing to be frightened about.
Ag!
That should be our response to sending our kids to school.
Psst, H. Psst, K. Oh, good grief. Yes, ma'am?
Here's the teacher. That's the indoctrination. It makes no sense. It has no wisdom. Charlie Brown was exposing it with the want, want, want. Anytime the adults were talking in Charlie Brown, that's what it sounded like. That's our school system. All right. So once we let go of these words, especially English, nobody knows the root meaning of the word that they're using. That's where the wisdom's going to come out. You stop following, the whatever spiritual guru there is, and start reading for yourself. Through an alphanumerical language, those mathematic codes will expand your consciousness, and you'll be able to see past the indoctrination of our consciousness. So when I talk about a collective consciousness, that's the indoctrination. It's on the collective. It's really hard for the individual to break out of the spider web of the collective. It takes time, and most people don't have time. Most people are in survival mode. Most people have to work 8, 10, 12 hours a day. It's all people can do to find 15 minutes a day to read, let alone figure out, well, what's the good books called? That's how I spend my entire days. Where am I going to go find these books? Mostly it's in India. Most everything I buy is out of India. Anyway, that's why I do the videos, because as you're driving and sitting in traffic, you can just listen to it. I've taken the hours of research and reading endlessly, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So here's a thing to know also. I was talking with somebody the other day for a short period of time, and they were telling me about all of these, I guess you would call it workshops, all of these spiritual workshops that they were going to be hosting this coming spring and summer. And we're in Sedona. There's a spiritual workshop literally like daily here. There's some spiritual guru from somewhere giving a workshop. And the reason I say this is because I asked her, in the last spiritual workshop you went to, did you retain any information? Could you explain to me in 5 minutes what you retained out of the last 8-hour workshop you sat through? Because that's her living. She does that. She hosts workshops. She goes to workshops. That's what she does. That's her money maker in Sedona. And I say, can you tell me 5 minutes of what for example, last weekend, can you tell me in 5 minutes, can you summarize that workshop? She couldn't. She didn't retain any of the information. That's the people today. They can't retain the information. There's no point. It's all about follow the money. It's about people making money. I'm not accusing her of that. I'm talking about the people that she hosted to come in. They made thousands of dollars in a day workshop. Here in Sedona, you can come here and put on a workshop and probably make $10,000. Many people do daily here. I see all the cars. I talk to them on the phone when they're calling for tours when the workshop is over. Another person cannot turn you from upside down, like the 6, upside down 6, to the upright of a 9. Only you can do that. Only you can turn yourself upright. Only you can break away from the collective and expand your consciousness and decide not to have a Leo-Piscean mentality, mindset, and that kind of hold, that bondage over you. What did Jesus say about that? I will spit you out. Depart from me, I never knew you. So you cannot listen to somebody else's filters, right? They're talking from their karmic stalemate. If you want to expand your consciousness, you've got to do more. Right? Let's remember what Jesus tells us. Let's read John 14:12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. Jesus was how we all have been saved by coming into the Piscean age. He is our shield. His words are our sword. The Holy Spirit delivers 100% of the time. So that's all we need to survive the frequency, the vibration, if you will, of fear, of negative emotion. It's that crucified him, and the people that crucified him still to this day follow Lucifer as they did in the days Jesus was here. Lucifer is Lord of the Piscean age. I'll get more on that and into that. But again, we have to keep in mind Revelation 9:1, the pit was open and he's loosed. So the real Church of Jesus, when you actually go back and read history, that only lasted 300 years. Luckily, it was real, it was authentic, it was genuine, but the mankind, following greed and money, Rome, it's all about Rome. Rome, in 325 AD, at the Council of Nicaea, at that very council, the church became an organized, criminalized group of idolatry, pedophiles, rapists, torturers, mass killing of people, and the massive burning campaign of every bit of history and writings of all libraries throughout all of Europe. Since that, because Satan, that little season may come back around, because the age of Pisces is going to come back around. And he's looking for as many people in that collective mindset of Leo-Piscean to stay on the cycle. He needs as many as he can get. So that this whole thing will repeat. But if you're off the Piscean, I guess I would say frequency, if you're off of it, you'll never incarnate into another Piscean age. That's why it's important to get out of the collective consciousness. So I'm going to wrap this up. All of the media industry, the movie industry, media like news media. When I say media, mainstream media, the movies, the TV, the music, the video, music videos, and video games, in order for them to be released or make any money at all, they must show the numbers I've already talked about. The 911, it's always backwards. So there's always it's usually always 119 or 116 or 9/6 or 9 in front of 6. That keeps you complete. Your consciousness is bigger than you, and it understands what that is. Do you see the bondage? It keeps you in indoctrination. Every time you see the number 23, that is the number of the Dark Lord of this earth. He has a short time to have dominion over man and legal dominion over man and legal dominion of earth. So you do not have to stay in the Leo-Piscean consciousness. You can connect to God within. Start understanding His language. His language are numbers. The next video that's going to come out tomorrow is going to be about the numbers. It's going to be about the alphanumerical system. It's going to be about how God spoke a word and creation began. Everything began by a word. Once you understand the power of first, before the word is the power of thought. Once you understand the power of thought, and then it's actually manifested through word. So I'll be really talking a lot on tomorrow's video about John 1, really John 1, 1 to 5. Well, that's going to be my focus. And I'm going to come at it with a history on understanding not only alphanumerical language, but the fact that God's language was never invented. It was discovered. It was left for us to discover, and the age and timeline of which it was discovered. And it's what the the other video series I did on the hyperdimensionals, inner and extra dimensionals, they continually come in to extract that information. There are angelic beings that I call the Adjustment Bureau on Earth that keep these writings in place for a reason. All right, so wrapping up, Jesus brought us into Pisces. He understood Satan and the demons, the devils, whatever you want to call them, would try to keep us from becoming upright in this age. It is necessary for our growth into a larger cosmic family of light to be responsible with our growth, with our spirit, with our consciousness, free our minds from useless words, emotions, and desires. Jesus taught us in very small parables. That's what I mean, bullet point. Jesus only spoke wisdom, and he did it in very small parables. He didn't need hours of useless words. So my last bullet point is going to be this. I'm going to draw on his parable and give you maybe a different perspective that you may not have thought of. The parable is in Matthew 5:28. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her has committed adultery with her already in his heart. Why did he say that? Let me just give you an example here and we'll wrap up. So let's say a woman is in bed with her husband having sex, but she's not really with her husband. Her mind, her thought, her desire, her heart, her lust is with the guy at the office. So now as she is having sexual relations with her husband, her mind and her heart is with Joe at the office. That thought, that lust, that place where her heart is, that spun off into a parallel reality. And now her and Joe exist in a parallel reality. Her and Joe just conceived a child. That child will look like Joe, have the genetic DNA of Joe, and that parallel reality will live out. And that karma be whatever that karma is going to be. Her, that woman, let's call her Betsy, whatever. The woman will never be able to enter, at least I don't think she will, maybe I'm wrong. But it could be, because Satan's all about thoughts and lust and sex. And that's why I think it will keep you in the Leo-Piscean consciousness, because that woman will never understand that she created that parallel reality. She won't be able to burn off that karma or even know that karma. She may never get to see that parallel reality. She may never repent for that parallel reality. In other words, there is no way any of us could know how many thoughts, let alone words, that we have, because we are creator beings. We can do more than Jesus did. We have God within us. And there is no way for us to keep tally on every thought and every word and the parallel realities and the result, the outcome of that parallel reality. Are you seeing the bigger picture? That can keep you in a Leo-Piscean consciousness loop after loop after loop after loop, and only incarnating into Satan's little season. You and I, Betsy, we don't want that, right? We want to expand our consciousness. We want to be responsible. We want to not get into ego, not get into desires. To desire is to create a parallel reality. We want to maintain being responsible with our consciousness and study, study, study. Stay in the Word. Right? That's all I can say for now. I mean, I want you to reflect on that. Just think on that. Because none of us probably remember as a teenager what kind of thoughts and what kind of words we had. I mean, I don't. Do you? Potter out.